keeps fading slowly, like smoke against the cold. Street lights through the window, soft gold on the floor. No one needs attention anymore. I don't need excitement, I don't need a plan, only this quiet feeling of being home again. Messages can wait now, calls can fade away. Tonight belongs to silence at the end of Friday. Half-empty glass beside me, music playing low. Tiny apartment shadows moving soft and slow. Outside someone's laughing somewhere down below, but in here everything moves gently along. No pressure to improve now, no pressure to perform. Only one night air and this comfortable calm. Funny how exhaustion can feel beautiful too, when tomorrow morning doesn't ask for you. Maybe freedom looks like doing almost nothing, sitting in dim lighting without overthinking. No dramatic healing, no fixing my life, just finally exhaling into Friday night. Nothing left to do tonight, the room turning blue. Everything grows softer the longer I stay still. Tomorrow feels distant beyond the city lights. Right now, only quiet and the slow-moving night. Friday night with no plans, and honestly that's nice. No crowded station platforms, no neon drinking lights, just my shoes by the doorway and quiet in the air. After carrying everything all week everywhere, the city keeps on moving outside my little room. Cars beneath the overpass disappear too soon, but tonight I'm disconnected from needing anything. No pressure to be interesting, no pressure to be seen. No pressure to be seen. Convenience store coffee, cold against my hand. Music from the speaker, soft and understated. Blankets on the sofa, lights turn slightly low. Nothing really happening, still I don't wanna go. Maybe peace is simple, maybe peace is this. A quiet Friday evening, no one interrupts, no chase and validation, no trying to escape, only soft night breathing and slower pace. There's comfort in being ordinary at the end of the week. Not every moment needs to become a memory. Sometimes the best nights leave nothing behind except the feeling of finally unclenching your mind. the city glowing softly beyond the balcony. Everything feels lighter now the week is through, and the silence in this room feels brand new. Takeout and city lights, Friday almost gone. Steam rising from the table while the TV stays on. No one really talking, nothing much to say. Still the room feels warmer at the end of day. I spent all week running through crowded trains and noise. Now I finally hear my own tired voice. Not sad and not lonely, just wanting to slow down. Let the weight of everything settle to the ground. Rain against the balcony, neon in the glass. Tiny passing headlights moving slowly past. Phone screen growing darker, battery almost dead. But tonight I'd rather stay here instead. No need for big moments, no need for escape. Only small comforts and a softer space. Funny how exhaustion can turn into relief when nothing is expected from the rest of the week. Maybe home is simply a room that lets you breathe, a place where all the pressure finally loosens quietly. No dramatic soundtrack, no fireworks above, just city lights flickering and enough quiet love. Takeout and city lights fading into blue. The week disappears slowly like smoke in the afternoon. Tomorrow waits somewhere else, far beyond tonight. Right now, only warm food and distant city lights. Tomorrow can wait tonight. I already did enough. The week still hangs around me, but it's slowly giving up. Laptop sleeping quietly near the empty chair, like even all my deadlines dissolved into the air. No one needs an answer, no one needs my time. For a couple midnight hours I can finally unwind. Streetlights through the curtains glow across the room. Everything feels softer inside the midnight blue. Ice melting in a glass cup, music playing low. Tiny apartment echoes, moving soft and slow. The city sounds more distant than it did before, like Friday night is closing every heavy door. No pressure to stay busy, no pressure to just slowly becoming human again and again. Tomorrow can't wait tonight. Morning far away. Everything I carried can disappear today. Only soft apartment light and distant traffic sounds holding this quiet Friday while the world spins around. The week is finally over, and I can feel it now. In the quiet of the apartment, after everything slows down. Shoes drop near the doorway, bag against the chair. Tiny signs of tiredness scattered everywhere. I don't wanna think deeply, I don't wanna go out. Only let the silence wrap around the couch. The city glows outside me, blue against the glass. But inside this small room, nothing moves too fast. Convenience store dessert and low volume TV. Simple little comforts waiting here for me. Phone screen face down quietly, buzzing once or twice. But tonight I'm choosing a different kind of life. No pressure to be social, no pressure to pretend. Only Friday evening and the feeling of the end. Not ending in a sad way, more like letting go of every tiny burden I carried through the week before. Maybe happiness isn't loud, maybe peace is plain. A slow night in your own room while soft music plays. No need to chase excitement, no need to disappear. Just enough quiet comfort to want to stay here. The week is finally over, the night becoming still. Everything feels lighter the longer I sit still. Tomorrow has no schedule. Morning has no fight. Only this calm apartment and a Friday night. Lights still on in the kitchen long after midnight. Empty glass beside me and the TV light. The week keeps fading slowly from my tired mind, like rainwater disappearing into city lights. I don't wanna rush now, I don't wanna think. Only let the silence settle while I slowly sink into softer moments without needing more. Just the sound of midnight through the apartment door. Laundry still unfolded, books beside the couch. Tiny unfinished details I don't care about. Funny how exhaustion feels peaceful tonight, when tomorrow morning finally stays out of sight. No pressure to stay active, no pressure to improve. Only warm electric piano floating through the room. Maybe freedom looks like turning everything low and letting all the noise in another week. Lights still on in the kitchen, but my thoughts grow dim. Everything feels distant and comfortably still. Morning can arrive later. Beyond the window frame, tonight belongs to silence and staying home again. Last train already gone, but I don't really mind. The city sounds quieter after midnight time. No crowded conversations, no drinking neon haze. Only this small apartment and the end of Friday. I spent enough energy trying all week long. Now I just want soft music and somewhere I belong. Shoes left by the doorway, phone turned upside down. Like all the noise of daytime finally settled down. Street lights through the curtains, paint silver on the wall. Tiny passing headlights barely move at all. Convenience store snacks on the coffee table still. Simple little comforts always help me heal. No pressure to go anywhere, no pressure to be seen. Only quiet breathing and a slow TV screen. Maybe peace is missing from places loud and bright. Maybe I was searching for this kind of night. There's comfort in staying home on the whole weekend. Not every Friday evening needs a crowd of friends. Sometimes the best feeling is finally slowing down, listening to silence instead of the town. Last train already gone, the city glowing blue. Everything feels softer, now there's nothing left to do. Tomorrow has no deadline, morning far away. Only this quiet apartment and the fading Friday. pressure to stay awake, no reason to go out, only letting tiredness slowly settle down. Funny how exhaustion can feel beautiful when tomorrow morning finally stays neutral. Maybe rest is ordinary, maybe peace is plain. A soft couch after midnight while light rain falls again. No dramatic meaning, no lesson to explain. Just another quiet night, washing off the week. Half asleep on the sofa, the TV glowing dim. Everything grows softer as the room gets still. Morning waits somewhere else beyond the city skies. But tonight I'm floating between dreams and lights. No alarms tomorrow, and I can feel the change. The room feels lighter somehow after another week. Laptop closed completely, bag dropped near the chair. Tiny signs of freedom scattered everywhere. I don't need to hurry anywhere tonight. Only let the hours drift under city lights. The train sounds in the distance fade into the dark, while soft electric piano moves through my apartment. Convenience store dessert waiting by the sink. Music low enough to barely interrupt my thinking. Street lights on the ceiling, shadows moving slow. Nothing really happening. Still, I don't wanna go. Maybe peace is simple, maybe this is enough. A quiet Friday evening without doing too much. No pressure left to carry, no emails left unread. Only soft night air and an unmade bed. But we kept asking questions I couldn't always solve. But tonight I let them disappear into the walls. No need for perfect answers, no need to understand. Sometimes freedom means finally unclenching your hands. No alarms tomorrow morning far away. Everything feels softer at the end of Friday. Only distant headlights and the slow moving room, holding all the silence like a favorite tune. Just staying in tonight, and honestly, that's fine. No crowded places waiting, no need to dress up nice. The city shines outside me, blue against the rain. But inside this apartment, everything feels safe. I spent enough time rushing noise of daytime finally starts to pass. Blankets on the sofa, takeout on the table, tiny ordinary comforts helping me feel stable. The kitchen lights still glowing long after midnight. Everything feels gentler at the edge of night. No pressure to be social, no pressure to explain. Only slow breathing and soft falling rain. Funny how the quiet feels luxurious somehow, after spending every weekday inside constant sound. Maybe happiness is hidden inside smaller things, late night apartments, silence, and the peace it brings. No dramatic ending, no cinematic scene, just finally existing without needing anything. Just staying in tonight, the room fading blue. Everything feels softer now the week is through. Tomorrow waits somewhere else beyond the window light. Right now only silence and this Friday night. After the group chats end, the room gets quiet again. No more blinking messages, no more weekend plans. Only soft refrigerator sounds and distant city rain. Everything feels slower at the end of Friday. I spent enough energy trying to keep pace. Now I just want silence and a little space. The couch feels warmer somehow with the lights turned low. Like this tired apartment knows exactly where I'm low. Takeout boxes on the table, shoes beside the door, tiny signs the work week isn't here anymore. Outside all the neon lights still trying to shine, but inside this quiet room I finally feel fine. No pressure to be social, no pressure to explain, only slow breathing and the sound of rain. Funny how the smallest nights can heal the most when nobody expects you to become anything at all. Maybe peace isn't exciting, maybe that's the point. A soft Friday evening without background noise. No dramatic moments, no stories to tell, just finally existing and resting well. After the group chats end, everything grows dim. The city fades softly beyond the window frame. Tomorrow can stay distant, morning far away. Tonight belongs to silence at the end of Friday. and soft music. That's enough tonight. No crowded bars around me, no overwhelming lights. The kitchen counter glowing in a golden haze. Everything feels slower at the end of Friday. I don't need attention, I don't need to go out. Only this quiet feeling while the city moves around. Cars beneath the balcony fade into the dark, and soft electric piano fills the apartment. Half-finished conversation still inside my head, but tonight I let them disappear instead. Blankets on the sofa, cold glass in my hand. Nothing really happening, still I understand. Maybe peace is hidden inside ordinary nights. Low music in the background and soft apartment lights. No pressure to feel happy, no pressure to pretend. Only slowly breathing as the long weekends. The world keeps moving loudly somewhere far from here, but inside this little room everything is clear. No dramatic healing, no lesson to explain, just finally relaxing again and again. One drink and soft music, the room fading blue. Everything feels gentler now the week is through. Morning waits beyond the blinds, far from where I stay. Tonight I'm just existing and letting go today. The city feels far away, even from my room. Headlights drifting slowly under midnight blue. The week still lingers softly, like smoke in the air. But tonight I leave it somewhere out there. No deadlines on the table, no train left to catch. Only soft exhaustion starting to relax. I spent all week rushing through noise and crowded streets. Now silence feels expensive and strangely sweet. Takeout by the window, rain against the rail. TV light flickering, soft and pale. Phone battery almost empty, face turned to the side. Nothing feels important tonight inside. No pressure to stay moving, no pressure to perform. Only warm apartment air keeping me calm. Funny how doing nothing can feel this complete. After spending every weekday barely touching sleep. Maybe freedom sounds like quiet after rain. A room with dim lighting and no drops against the balcony like a quiet song. The kitchen light is glowing soft against the wall. Everything feels gentler after all. I don't wanna go anywhere, I don't need a crowd. Only let the rain sounds cover up the noise. Though we kept asking questions I couldn't always solve, but tonight I let them disappear into the walls. Blanket over tired legs, cold drink in my hand, music low enough to barely interrupt the rain. Streetlights through the curtains blur into the blue. Nothing really happening, still it feels new. Maybe peace is hidden inside slower nights, where nobody expects you to shine too bright. No pressure to keep smiling, no pressure to explain, only soft apartment warmth in the evening rain. The city still keeps moving somewhere past the dark, but inside this quiet room I can finally stop. No dramatic happiness, no sadness to escape, just finally becoming still at the end of the week. Rain outside, warm room inside, everything grows slow. The world fades softly beyond the window glow. Tomorrow waits somewhere else, far beyond tonight. Right now only comfort and soft rainy light. Slow nights like this don't happen enough. No alarms tomorrow, no pressure to rush. Shoes kicked near the doorway, phone screen upside down. All the noise of daytime finally settling down. I spent all week trying to stay above the noise. Now I only want silence and softer sounds. The room feels warm and faded in the midnight glow. Everything moves slower than it did before. Takeout containers stacked beside the sink. Music from the speakers, soft enough to think. Rainwater on the balcony, street lights in the haze. Nothing really matters at the end of Friday. No pressure to be productive, no pressure to improve. Only slow breathing inside this room. Maybe rest is meaningful even when it's plain. Maybe quiet evenings are enough to heal the brain. There's beauty in exhaustion when you finally stop, letting all the heavy thoughts quietly dissolve. No dramatic breakthrough, no sudden life change, just finally relaxing again and again. Slow nights like room feels gentler now the week is through. Morning waits beyond the blinds, far from where I stay. Tonight belongs to silence and letting go today. Weekend starts in this room with the lights turned low. The week's still hanging softly like smoke moving slow. Bag dropped by the doorway, shoes kicked near the chair. Tiny signs of freedom scattered everywhere. No one needs an answer, no one needs my time. For a couple midnight hours, I can finally unwind. The city glows outside me, blue against the rain. But inside this apartment, everything feels safe. Drink on the table, music playing low. Street lights through the curtains, moving soft and slow. Phone screen face down quietly, buzzing once or twice. But tonight I'm choosing a quieter kind of life. No pressure to stay busy, no pressure to improve. Soft electric piano floating through the room. Funny how exhaustion can feel beautiful when tomorrow morning doesn't ask for much at all. Pieces hidden inside ordinary nights. Not chasing excitement, not chasing neon lights. No dramatic moments, no perfect memories. Just finally existing exactly how I need. Weekend starts in this room, everything grows still. The noise of all the weekdays slowly disappears. Tomorrow stays distant beyond the avenue. Tonight belongs to silence and this midnight mood. Soft neon through the curtains, painting on the wall. The city keeps on glowing, but I don't need it all. The room feels warm and distant after such a week. Like silence finally found me when I stopped trying to speak. I don't wanna go downtown, I don't need the noise. Only low volume music and softer thoughts tonight. Takeout on the counter, cold rain in the air. Tiny midnight comforts waiting everywhere. Laptop closed completely, phone turned upside down. All the pressure from the weekdays finally calming down. The train sounds in the distance fade into the dark, while soft electric piano moves across my heart. No pressure to feel social, no pressure to pretend. Only slowly breathing as another weekend needs a crowded place. Sometimes staying home alone feels like luxury. No dramatic happiness, no loneliness to fight. Just soft neon reflections and a peaceful night. Soft neon through the curtains. Everything turns blue. The world keeps spinning somewhere, but I'm staying in tonight too. Morning waits beyond the blinds, far from where I stay. Tonight belongs to silence and letting go today. Finally off the clock, and I can feel the change. The room feels softer somehow after another week. The kitchen light is glowing low against the wall. Everything I carried doesn't matter now at all. I spent a week answering messages and calls. Now I only want silence inside these walls. Street lights on the ceiling, rain against the rail. Tiny peaceful moments never really fail. Convenience store coffee, cooling near the sink. Music from the speakers, soft enough to think. Phone battery almost empty, face turned to the side. Nothing feels important tonight inside. No pressure to stay productive, no pressure to perform. Only warm apartment air keeping me calm. Maybe rest is meaningful, even when it's small. Maybe doing nothing helps the most of all. There's comfort in exhaustion when the hard part ends. Letting all the tension quietly descend. No dramatic breakthrough, no sudden new start. Just finally relaxing inside my own heart. Finally off the clock, the city glowing dim. Everything feels lighter now the week grows thin. Tomorrow has no deadlines, morning far away. Tonight belongs to silence and staying home today. Midnight convenience store run under summer rain. Street lights on the pavement shining silver again. Plastic bag beside me, cold drink in my hand. The city feels quieter than it usually can. No crowded conversations, no pressure to stay out. Only soft night breathing while the train slows the door. Tiny signs of tiredness scattered on the floor. Music low and distant, lights turn halfway down. Everything feels softer now, no one's around. No pressure to stay awake, no pressure to improve. Only warm midnight air moving through the room. Funny how the smallest nights can feel this alive when you finally stop trying to optimize your life. Maybe happiness is simple. Late night drinks and rain. A quiet walk home alone at the end of Friday. No dramatic meaning, no story to explain. Just finally slowing down again and again. Midnight convenience store on the city glowing blue. Everything feels gentler now the week is through. Morning waits somewhere beyond the sleeping avenue. Tonight belongs to silence in this midnight mood. No reason to hurry tonight. The whole week is gone. Only soft apartment lighting and this quiet song. Laptop sleeping silently near the empty chair. Everything feels lighter without pressure there. I don't need excitement, I don't need a crowd. Only let the midnight slow the whole world down. The city lights beyond me blur against the rain, while warm electric piano moves through my brain. Takeout on the coffee table, blankets on the couch. Tiny ordinary comforts helping me unwind now. Phone turned upside down, quietly buzzing once or twice. But tonight I'm choosing a softer kind of life. No pressure to be social, no pressure to explain. Only slow breathing and soft evening rain. Maybe peace is ordinary, maybe peace is small. Maybe quiet Friday nights matter most of all. The week kept moving quickly, pulling me around. But tonight I finally put all that down. No dramatic ending, no perfect final scene. Just finally becoming still without needing anything. No reason to hurry tonight. Everything grows slow. The city